So we're talking about building relationships today. Last time you guys touched on that, and I know that you guys were talking about how you feel awkward just sending messages out of the blue. I did too. I felt like I had a hidden agenda when I was messaging people, and it's because I did. When I was, I'm gonna try to. I don't know how to mute everyone. I don't know who the background is. Okay. So I felt like I had a hidden agenda when I first started doing it. That's because I did. In the back of my mind, every time I sent a message, it was, I'm going to invite them to a challenge group, or I think they should buy a challenge pack because, and that's why I would be having the conversations. But instead of thinking about it like that, you want to think more building relationships. So let me switch to sharing my screen, desktop, share screen. All right, let me go to my PowerPoint. I'm using Brian's laptop because I left mine in Punta Cana.
Oh, yeah. You're still waiting to get that back, huh?
You send an email, and then you just hope they find it. And if they do, I have to just give a power of attorney to the airline and hope that they are willing to mail it back to me. So
Oh boy.
Oh, my
probably
goodness.
won't get it back. Yeah, so I'm using Brian's. But so the main thing about building relationships is as you're going through, don't have Beachbody completely out of your mind and just think about loving on people. And so Jenny and I have been talking about this. A lot of times people go through their life and they don't feel like they're seen. My sister-in-law, when I first had Jack, I was tired, I was struggling, I was by myself all day, all the time. And she sent me a really sweet message, and she ended it by saying, I see you. I see your hard work. And it just made such a difference to know that someone saw me. That's what we do for other people. I heard in college people were talking about how in America you ask, how are you? But you don't really mean it. It's just like a greeting. When we ask someone how they are, we mean it. We want to know how they really are. And so that's kind of the mindset you want to be in when you're sending messages to people. And so ask questions, be interested in them, and really see them. And that's how you build a relationship with someone that you haven't talked to in forever, with a brand new person you've just friended because you like their profile. So like what I say here, take Success Club out of the equation and just talk to people. And how I do that, so most of you are in your warm market still. That means it's all people you already know. You haven't friended new people for Beachbody. Just go through your friends list and look at everyone's profile and like and comment on their stuff. As you, don't like and comment on something that you don't care about. I actually have unfriended a bunch of people too. Like, there was a girl throwing up gang signs. I'm not going to like and comment on that. And I don't really want to be friends with you. So, you
want to be friends with a gang member.
I was a paid lead, believe it or not. So I somehow got into the Mexican mafia with my paid leads on my like page. I don't know how. So as I'm going through, I'm filtering those people out. But you want to attract people that you want to work with. And I remember rolling my eyes when I heard that. No, I want to be successful, so I'm going to talk to everyone. No, you want people in your challenge groups, because as you guys know, we've been in plenty of challenge groups to know we form pretty close relationships. We talk to each other a lot, and you don't want to form relationships with people that you don't want to have a relationship with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, true.
So I just I do the A to Z method, and I go through and I plug in everybody's name, and I go through and I just look at their profile, and I like and comment and love on people. So you compliment them, you ask them questions. Hey, I saw you posted this recipe. Have you tried it? Was it any good? And it's like, genuinely, I would be interested in making that recipe. No word vomiting. So this is kind of out of order in how I'm talking about it. I always do bad when I try to go on a script. I do better when I just talk. So, but as you like and comment on people's stuff, keep track of who you're talking to, and then send a private message as you feel it's appropriate. If you've watched that funnel video that I posted yesterday, she says by the 5th interaction, you should be sending a private message. I don't really go by that necessarily. I just do it as I feel like it makes sense. So, and it's not about Beachbody unless it's appropriate. So like they post, I went running today. I'll send them a message. That's awesome. You went running. I'm starting a new challenge group. If you're interested, let me know. And it's not like this huge paragraph about what a challenge group is. It's just, and I don't call it that. I call it a health and fitness accountability group because people don't know what a challenge group is. And if they tell me that they're interested, then I ask them, what are your goals? I don't tell them what the challenge group is about because I want to find out more information about them before to see if it's even something that would be good for them. A huge mistake I made is if anyone showed any sign or hint of working out, I would word vomit on them in the beginning. I'd send them this message and be like, hey, I saw you're working out. You should join this challenge group. It's great because of this, blah, it's helped me, this, blah, 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 blah. And no, that's not good because you think about how you felt when you first started doing your workouts. You didn't want to hear about something different that you should be doing.
Sure. Yeah.
So instead, now I just encourage them. I send them a message, that's awesome that you just started a boot camp. How's it going? And they tell me how it's going. And I just encourage them. That's great. And then I check in with them a few days later. Oh, I saw you did your accountability selfie. That's awesome. You're still at it. And just build that relationship. Eventually that boot camp's going to end and they're not going to want to pay another $300 to be in the boot camp. We have a great solution for that. The private message, pretty much every time I send a private message the first time, it's nothing to do with about Beachbody. It has something to do with their profile. Hey, I saw your kid made the honor roll. That's really exciting. Or yesterday a girl posted, I am 12 months sober. And so I sent her a voice message just telling her how awesome that was. And she said that made my day. It was like,
that's nice.
That's what we do, is we just build people up, we encourage them, and you just build the relationship. And it'll eventually come. So I 100% believe that Beachbody can help everyone just because it's helped me. And that's why I do it. But I'm not going to talk to people about it until it makes sense, if that makes sense. So
yeah, actually, Melissa, what I've been doing the last week, I've been the people I did private message. I kind of started because I noticed there's been a few more people liking my post about health and fitness and things. So like the ones that joined our challenge group, I said, hey, I want to just thank you for liking my post. I really appreciate your support. And then I just say, oh, I love your post. I love your pictures of your kids, and I hope you're well. And it then funny because it kind of opens up people that have responded back. You're such an inspiration to me. I really need to get it together with my health. So that's kind of a nice way too to kind of say thank you for liking. It does mean a lot when people like our posts too. It's like it gives us the encouragement. So it is kind of a nice, I guess, conversation starter too. I don't talk about Beachbody. I just thank them. So it seems to work though so far.
That's perfect. That's exactly. So if someone likes or comments on one of my workout pictures, I do that. I send them, thanks for your support and encouragement. Have you ever thought about trying it? And that's a lot of times, like you said, opens the door. And if they say yes, Most of the time they just say yes. I don't tell them anything about it. I ask, you want to talk about them. So I always say, what has you interested? What are your goals? What have you struggled with? And I have a whole bunch of questions that are good to ask people, but you want to gather as much information about them because it's about them. It's what they need. And then we see if we can help them from there. So that's kind of like, that's actually what I was going to go into next, Jenny. So
sorry. I jumped the gun.
That's perfect. So go through a friends list. That's about life, catching up. Don't talk about Beachbody unless it makes sense. And then, anyone who likes or comments, send a private message. And so think about you. For me, it took me a year, I've already said this before, to even reach out to Shannon. I was not even friends with her. The only reason I saw her post is because I was high school friends with her husband, and so she tagged him. So I was seriously a secret silent stalker. She didn't even know I existed. But I watched her for a year, and so it took me a year to build up the courage to even like one of her posts. So think about that when people like your posts. Would you, if I didn't have the courage to even like a post, I certainly wasn't going to have the courage to reach out and ask her what she's doing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our job too. When they take that step and like or comment, that's taking a lot of courage. And so it's our responsibility then to reach out and be like, are you interested? And why are you interested? How can I help you be successful in your goals? And so those conversations or those relationships are way easier because they're already interested in what you're doing. So cold market, these are people that you're adding. Where do you find people to add? So friends of friends. Everyone should have a public profile. That way everyone can see your posts. And if you have posts that you don't want everyone to be able to see, like of your kids, you can make specific posts private. But making your profile public will allow your friends of friends to see, and then they can start liking your stuff. And that's
that's a good point. That's a good one.
Yeah, you can build your market that way. Also asking for referrals. So if people say, no, it's not for me, that's all right. Do you know of anyone that this might help? So like emotional eating. I have people that don't struggle with that. And that's all right. They say, this is not the challenge for me. I always say, no problem. I run these every month. Do you know of anyone that does struggle with emotional eating that this might help? And a lot of times they say no, but sometimes they say yes because they do know someone who it could help. The free groups, that is how I really build my list of friends, because you're adding value. That's a big thing too. You're adding value for free to people. And so I do a ton of recipe shares. Invite anyone who you think would need new dinner ideas. Who doesn't need new dinner ideas?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
So as they add people, you friend them and just start relationships. Hey, thanks for joining my group. What has you interested in this? And a lot of times, like, it's a duh. I want new dinner ideas. Duh, that's what they're like. So that's how I start the chat. I'm like, oh, well, what kind of things do you cook for dinner now? And you get all different kinds of people. People who don't know how to cook. Oh, well, what do you usually cook? And then you get the experts. Oh, I already know everything. And it's like, oh, well, great. Then you should add to the group some of your tips because people love to like add their own stuff. That's a good way to add. And I'm doing a free group, the Memorial Mini Meltdown, that's starting in a week or 2 weeks. So that's a good opportunity to invite your friends and have them invite their friends and you friend their friends. And as you're friending these people, don't just send them friend requests. Go to their profile, and if you're able to look at their profile, kind of vet them first. I do this for every person. If their profile is full of like, I'm not against swearing, but I mean, if their profile is full of just swearing and talking about drama with their family, and because there are all kinds of crazy people out there. I'm not going to friend you. That's a bad lead. Ignore, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at their profile, they have to think about, is this someone I'd want to be friends with? And if the answer is no, there's millions of people in the world. That's okay.
Mm.
You
Yep.
don't have to be friends with everyone. That was a mistake I made. I was trying to help everyone, and I don't know how to help everyone. I know how to help people that are interested in like what we're doing. So sending messages, add value, love on people. So compliment them, just make them feel good, and compliment them genuinely. People get new haircuts, or I don't know, for some reason, people are going through losing their pets right now, right and left. And it's so sad. And I always send those people messages because my dogs are getting older. They're getting more white in their face. And so every time I see one of those, it breaks my heart. And I always send them a message. I'm so sorry. And it's a genuine message, and they always appreciate it. But as you're looking at everyone's profile, just see what's going on in their life. I saw you just took your son to their first Tigers game. How was it? How cool. I would love to do that with my son. Just like anything that pops into your head. One of my friends actually posted this. A girl at Rite Aid was checking her out and told her that she was so beautiful and she wished that she could look like her. And it just dawned on my friend, I think compliments about people all the time. Strangers, people I know, but I never say them. Why not? It would make that person's day, but I never say them because it's awkward. You don't know how to say it without being awkward. For whatever reason, you just don't say it. I've stopped holding myself back on compliments, and I just give them out freely whenever it pops into my head. I send that person a message, or I write it on their wall. Because it makes their day, it makes them happy, it builds the relationship, and who cares if it has nothing to do with Beachbody? That's our job. We lift people up. So love on people. And you guys are good at that. You guys do so well with that in our challenge groups. So apply what you do in our challenge groups to your friends list.
Actually, Melissa, I have an example. I know I talked about this on the team page, but my friend who she's going through a hard time. Her name's Brooke, and actually she joined our challenge group, which is great. She was having a very bad day, and we were going to go shopping for workout clothes on Sunday, but she texted me Saturday, literally at the last minute, "Can you get together with me? I'm having a bad day." Her ex-husband was getting remarried, and she was real emotional about it. And I felt bad for her. So she's like, "Can you do it tonight?" So I kind of luckily, I mean, we got done with dinner, so I went and did that. She was like crying when she arrived at the store. And I told her, I said, "You know what?" I said, "It's okay." I said, "Let's go and find some really cute workout clothes." So we're in the store, and, we're kind of shopping. I'm kind of helping her pick out stuff. And we were laughing. She ended up walking out of the store with a bag full of clothes laughing. I mean, it made me feel great. It made her, she actually did, she sent me a text just actually like 20 minutes ago saying, she said, "Thank you so much for planting the seeds. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be working on my health right now. I need to work on myself." And it really made me feel good. I mean, she has not bought a challenge pack, but she's trying to work on her health, and she's joined our challenge group. She's posted some things. She's doing a boot camp, and she's doing great. And see, that makes me feel like I'm doing my job. Even though I didn't sell anything, it's all about helping her feel that she's valued. And like I call her my fellow brawler. I said, "You are my fellow brawler, girl." I said, "You're gonna fight. You're just gonna rock this challenge. You're gonna do great." So like that's just an example of just helping people. Cause I know how it feels to feel like you're nothing. So I want people to feel good. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's awesome. We're kind of like bartenders or psychologists in a way, because we don't know these people in their real lives for the most part. So we're a safe place for them to talk about what's really bothering them. And I learned that as a coach. I came into coaching thinking, oh, I'm going to help people figure out how to meal plan and do their workouts. And that's actually a really small part of it. A big part is people tell me what's really going on. And that's really the root of the emotional eating, or why they can't work at confidence. I mean, we've been talking about that a lot. I didn't think I was going to be getting into this level of relationship with everyone, but at first it made me really uncomfortable. It's like, why are these people telling me these very intimate things about their lives? But it's really cool to get to help them through, and you kind of take them from having zero confidence to you get to watch them realize their own potential. And that's such an amazing thing to get to be a part of. And it helps you stay focused on your goals too, because these people are, as they're doing it, you're wanting to do it. It's cool. And so, like you said, take the challenge pack out of it and just love on people and think about how can you help them. I've got a few challengers now. I always say I'm not letting free people in anymore, but there's always the but. And so I've got a few in now that they can't get a challenge pack right now, but they're trying. And really that's all I require is that you try. I let so many free people in that didn't try. They continued walking their dog and eating McDonald's and didn't see results and then got mad at me because nothing changed. But if people show me I'm going to show up, I'm willing to try, I'm willing to help you if you're willing to try, basically. And so, like, I have one girl who she said, if it wasn't for you, I would have quit. And I'm thinking, I didn't do anything, though. When I met Autumn, I got to meet Autumn on the trip, and it was pretty emotional. I cried, and I felt ridiculous, but I had sunglasses on, so I don't know if she could tell. But I thanked her for changing my life. And she said, I didn't change your life, you did. And she's right, but I give her all the credit. And a lot of times our challengers give us the credit, but they're the ones doing it. We're just helping them, and we help them see that. How cool is that? That comes from building relationships, not selling challenge packs. So it is awkward at first to private message people, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And the more you do it, the more you get the responses back when they say things like, thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for checking. I get that all the time. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for just whatever message I send. And for me, it's like it takes 5 seconds. That's awesome. Your kid made the honor roll, or just whatever it is. But to them, they feel seen. Someone sees them. Someone cares about their life. Someone's interested for real. When I say, how are you? I mean it. Don't tell me fine. How are you for real? That's what we do. That's building relationships. And those are some of the examples. Sending messages. So these are, I don't know if you guys were in the inviting surge. It was really awesome. It was done by Lindsay Matway's group, but one of the coaches in it gave these probing questions. And she said something really important. Again, not word vomiting. So don't send them this list of questions because you're not interrogating them. You're sending them questions based on how the conversation is going. So when it's a brand new conversation, I send 1 or 2 questions if they are interested. So it's usually always, what are your goals and what do you struggle with, is what I like to start with, because that's, I mean, if you don't know what their goals are, you don't have anything to go off of. But I have posted these actually in the team page. What are your food addictions? That's a good one. Water intake. What's a typical day look like? That's like for your food. I like to ask that one later in the conversation. So once I know what their goals are, I like to figure out what they struggle with. And all the time, most of the time, people say they struggle with food. And that's when I say, well, what is a typical day of eating like for you? And that's when they tell me their whole day of eating, and I make suggestions. And I don't only suggest Shakeology. I only suggest Shakeology if it makes sense, which most of the time it does, but I will make other suggestions too. Like, for example, the mother and daughter, I just was talking about them, their typical day of eating is no breakfast. The mom eats out of the vending machine for lunch, the daughter eats the school lunch, and then they eat fast food for dinner. So the suggestions I made, what's crazy about that? That's like a typical American diet,
It
which is
is.
sad. And a lot of people don't know how to cook. A lot of people think eating a Nutri-Grain bar is like that's the healthiest thing they eat all day. So
Yeah.
the suggestions I made is, well, why do you skip breakfast is the first thing I ask. So go through and really try to problem solve with them their whole day and only suggest Beachbody stuff if it makes sense. And so I asked them, first of all, why do you skip breakfast? And then I told them why breakfast is important. They would skip breakfast because of time. I suggested Shakeology for breakfast. Then I asked, why do they do fast food? Because of time. I suggested crock pot meals. And you guys already know how to do all that. But you just go through having a conversation as if you were having these struggles. How would you fix the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to go through these questions now. And then as you get further down in when are you going to fit in your workout and really helping them hammer out what it's going to look like. Do you know, I just got done talking to somebody about this a few minutes before we got on the call. How do you know how much you should be eating? She's another one who hasn't bought a challenge pack. She's doing free YouTube videos. She's trying to fix her eating. She's not ready to buy a challenge pack. Well, I'm like, she's starving constantly. Well, we talked about food is fuel. You have to eat. How do you know how much you should be eating? I don't know how much I should be eating. Well, let's figure it out. And I help her figure it out. So that's how you add value. And the more value you add, the more you build these relationships, the less it's going to feel like selling, and the more it's going to feel like you're sharing what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what works for me. So that's why I tell people about it. If they already have something that works for them, that works for them. But so I have another girl I've been talking to for a year now. She's not bought a challenge pack because she's been doing Fitness Blender. She pays $6 a year, but it's not working. And I don't know how to politely say that. And so every time, we have the same conversation every couple of months. What's your challenge group? What are the requirements? I talked to her about what workouts I think would be good for her, why I think Shakeology would be good for her. Oh, well, I do this and it's only $6. And I always say, well, that's great. If that's what's working for you, then that's good. You should keep doing that. That's a good deal. And that's when we stop talking because it's not working. That's why we're still talking about it. She's just not ready yet. So, all right, and I'm getting.
It's really interesting, Melissa, that you say that because I just think about myself. I would see, Stacy and my friend Karen, post about, their weight loss and, how great they feel and everything. And I just remember just seeing that. But I don't know what it is. It's some kind of block in the brain. I have no idea. But it's I don't know why, we're hesitant. If you see it working for other people, why, for me, it took me a year too. I was in a couple of your challenge groups. I didn't really do much, but I did observe. But it was just, I don't know what it was. I mean, I try to go in that person's shoes, and I don't know. I just think too, people spend a lot of money on weight loss stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't get results. And then when you tell them, okay, it's this $160 thing right now. And of course, the Shakeology is, obviously it's the monthly thing. But people are funny about that. They're just oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then they'll say they'll go out to dinner all the time, or they'll do this expensive yoga, or
Pure Barre, it's over $1,000 a year.
What is
Pure Barre?
Yes. And there's people that do that, and I mean that's great. If it works for you, but then they do they take a pill, or they do this, or I know some people that had weight loss surgery and the weight came back.
Yeah.
And that
you
is,
don't change anything.
you're not changing your diet.
Mm-hmm.
And the support, like one thing I've been doing is when I'm talking to people, and this is, I really stress this with people. I say, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for my support system. I said, I talk to my fellow support people every day. And I get emotional when I talk about it. I said, I've never been a part of something like this before. I said, I feel like these people are my family. They're my best friends. I mean, I it's so important. I said, you cannot do this by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I stress that. I said, because like you said, a lot of people feel alone. A lot of people feel like they're just alone in the world. Like you're on Facebook, you got 800 friends, but you still feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to get healthy and trying to be around like-minded people, it's having that support system. And I really stress that. I mean, when I was talking to Rachel and Julie, who ended up buying challenge packs, I stressed that in my conversation with them when they were asking me about, Beachbody and what it's done for me. I said, support is key.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy the challenge pack, you can do it, but you need to be a part of a challenge group. Mm-hmm. I said, because it's just essential. We hold each other accountable. You get the support, you get the encouragement, and it's just so wonderful. It's just a great community. And they love that. They were sold on that. They're like, oh my God, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I spent a lot of my first part of coaching. I didn't think I had any value to add. I didn't think I had a story to tell. And so I tried to use what other coaches were doing to be successful. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work because I wasn't telling my story and explaining to people why I was doing it. And like you just said, the support is what made the biggest difference for you. And so that's Jenny's story on what made, like, what worked for her. So you have to figure out, like, think about what were your objections. Why did you decide that it was worth it? And this is the next slide, or I guess I'm at the end of it. Why did you decide that it was worth investing in? And then what has it done for you? That when you talk to people genuinely about, especially because this stuff is emotional, this takes hard work. We've invested a lot of time and energy, money into this. So when you talk to them about why this is important to you, what it's done for you, they can feel that, and they can feel if you're genuine, and they can see that you're sincere in it and you really do think that it can help them. Because why? I never reach out to someone and just say, you should buy the 21-day fix because it's on sale. Who cares if it's on sale? If I don't need it, the sale doesn't help me. So never suggest something to someone unless you know why you should suggest it to them or why they should buy it. And that all comes from building the relationships. So we have 4 minutes left. Do you guys have any questions on it? Who's going to send messages out?
I have a couple out and just waiting for response.
Hey, Carmen.
Hi.
Carmen's in the house.
Yeah, you've got stuff happening. So Carmen went to Founders Day and all kinds of people were impressed with her.
Aww.
Right?
It was different. I'm not used to that kind of attention, and it threw me off on how many people came running up to me. I didn't think it was going to be like that.
That's exciting. And how encouraging, right?
It's extremely encouraging. I got quite a bit of people interested in how I lost the weight, and they want to, they want tips and stuff. So I've contacted most of them, but just seeing where it goes from here.
Yeah, that's exciting. And that's exactly how you do it. So people are interested. You send them a message. hey, have you ever thought about trying this? And then find out why are they interested. And that's where the relationship starts. So never lead with Beachbody. That's how you become a weird salesperson.
Yeah.
So I would just start, like, go to your friends list, type in AA, and then start looking at people's. What I do is I split my screen. I have my list of people on this side, my Facebook on this side. I type their name in, go to their profile. I just look through and I like and comment on the first. You don't want to like go through their profile because then you look like a creepy stalker if you're like in January. Like just look at the first couple posts, and if you like something, like it. If you have a comment, and if a private message makes sense, then like I almost always private message people when they post recipes that I think look good. Hey, that looked awesome. Have you tried it yet? Because I really want to know. I'm not gonna try it if someone already has and it wasn't any good.
Right.
So that's how I do it. And I just talk to everyone like that. Real life too. Brian's been surprised. We go places and I talk to people now like I know them because I've been doing this and it's awesome. He's like, oh, do you know her from the library? No, I've never met her in my life. I liked her shoes and I told her that. Or I thought her kid was really polite and I was impressed at how he treated Jack. So I'm going to tell her that.
Mhm.
And people talk to me back like they know me because that's how I'm talking to them. And that
Mhm.
takes time. It's awkward at first, but you'll get it. So, anything else? All right. Well, we have 1.5 minutes. So, what are your goals? Are you guys gonna try this out?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty cool. Building other people up just makes you feel good. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys watched Friends, but the episode where Phoebe gets stung by a bee on purpose because Joey says no good deed is selfless. That's kind of what building people up is like.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it was awesome talking to you guys. I mostly talked at you guys, but
This is good.
all right.
It was a
That's
good
great.
I'm glad it was helpful. Think about what you guys want to talk about next time. And if you don't have anything, I can figure out something. I can always figure out something.
Sounds real good.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
All right. I'm so excited for this team. You guys are awesome. I was missing you big time in Punta Cana. I wanted my team there.
Aw.
We wanted to be there.
Yeah. Next year.
Next
Everyone. So, all right.
Yes, that's a goal.
Yes, good. That's good. We have to figure out how to make that happen. So maybe that's what we could talk about. I'll do a post on that tomorrow. So